Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Bettendorf City Council meeting. Today is Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. It's 7 o'clock. Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Adamson.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Connors.
Here.
Nauman.
Here.
Sexer.
Here.
Baden.
Here.
Webster.
Here.
Now, if you could all please rise, remove any caps or headdresses you may have. And before our Pledge of Allegiance tonight, we're going to have a moment of silence in memory of the 40th anniversary of D-Day, for the lives lost and for those who fought and won World War II. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be followed by an invocation given by Bettendorf Police Chaplain and Father of Lord's Catholic Church, Father Jason Crossan. Let's observe a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Scouts, if you can help me with the Pledge of Allegiance, would you like to start us, please? Okay, you ready? Okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, please remain standing.
Good and gracious God, as we gather this evening as a community of Bettendorf, we are aware of the many grateful things that we are thankful for this evening. We are thankful for a new bridge. We are mindful of the many bridges in life that connect us to other people and to our community, and to the many achievements that we celebrate here tonight. Let us be always aware of those we serve, especially the poor and the needy. Let us be thankful for those who have given their life in service and have shed their blood and have allowed themselves to become a sacrifice for their country and for the benefit of the community. Help us to always appreciate them. Help us to stand up in courage and in love for our brothers, our sisters, and our neighbors. Grant us the wisdom and the good leadership to continue to guide our community in the future and in the days ahead. And we ask this all in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Father. You may be seated. Before we get to our awards, I'd like to thank you all for coming to Mark Hunt's birthday party. Let's sing him a happy birthday. To Mark, sitting here, yes, he's sitting here in front. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mark. Happy birthday to you. Fantastic. All right, now we've got some wonderful awards to give out this evening to recognize some great efforts of our police officers. And for that, we'll welcome Chief Keith Kimball to the center of the room, and I'll join you there, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, City Council, and audience, this is a great night to acknowledge some of our officers and things that have occurred over the last year. It's a great way to end on a positive note towards the end of the year. Our officers we're honoring and recognizing tonight, you know, are just a few of the many officers we have on this department. They're out there dedicated to protecting and serving our community every day, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. And it's just a great honor, privilege for me to be able to do this tonight, be up in front of everybody and do this. So without further ado, I would like to call up Sergeant Zach Thomas, Officer Zach Gish, Officer Zach Schwartz, Officer Carter Himmelman, and Officer Wyatt Flickinger. Right here. All right. All right, I'm gonna try to get them. All right, so what we have here are 5 officers and a sergeant that were working on February 7th of this year. And I'm gonna go through the awards, and I think it'll kind of explain themselves. So first up, Sergeant Zach Thomas. So just get everyone's attention. Bettendorf Police Department Exceptional Service Award presented to Sergeant Zach Thomas for performing a remarkable police accomplishment under adverse conditions where hazard to life and limb existed or death or injury to a third party occurred. On February 7th, 2021, at approximately 0151 hours, Sergeant Zach Thomas and numerous other Bettendorf police officers responded to the 1300 block of Kimberly Ridge Road, referencing a suspicious vehicle. It was later discovered that the passenger in the vehicle had been taken against her will and threatened with a firearm by the suspect. Sergeant Zachary Thomas attempted to remove the suspect from the vehicle to detain him. The suspect retrieved a handgun, directed it towards officers, and discharged a round, narrowly missing Sergeant Thomas. Officer Gish was able to swiftly and decisively resolve the situation. Sergeant Thomas, newly promoted to a supervisory position, was able to effectively manage the incident for an extended duration, coordinating appropriate resources and guiding his subordinates, despite suffering injuries to his hand and being faced with a mortal threat. Sergeant Thomas's performance in line of duty is in keeping with the finest traditions of the police profession and reflects the great credit upon himself and the Bettendorf Police Department, presented on the 7th day of December, 2021. With this, he will receive the award certificate, if you could also, his medal, and also his uniform citation bar. There you go, sir. Thank you.
Next.
Officer Zachary Gish, Bettendorf Police Department, Combat Cross Award, presented to Officer Zachary Gish for displaying extraordinary heroism through an intelligent performance of duty while engaged in personal combat with an armed adversary where personal hazard to an officer's life existed. On February 7th, 2021, at approximately 0151 hours, Officer Zachary Gish and numerous other Bettendorf police officers responded to the 1300 block of Kimberly Ridge Road, reference a suspicious vehicle. It was later discovered that the passenger in the vehicle had been taken against her will and threatened with a firearm by the suspect. Sergeant Zachary Thomas attempted to remove the suspect from the vehicle to detain him. The suspect retrieved a handgun, directed it towards officers, and discharged a round, narrowly missing Sergeant Thomas. Upon seeing the suspect was armed and presented an immediate and mortal threat to officers' lives, Officer Gish took swift and decisive action to resolve the situation. Officer Gish's quick thinking and lack of hesitation immediately ended an extremely volatile situation and saved officers from certain injury or death. Officer Gish's performance in the line of duty is in keeping with the finest traditions of the police profession and reflects great credit upon himself and the Bettendorf Police Department, presented on the 7th day of December, 2021. Also receiving the Level 1 award with the medal. Uniform.
Move up, Zach.
All right, I'm gonna do these three next gentlemen officers at the same time, each receiving a letter of commendation. So these three were the first ones to respond to the scene of this ongoing situation. So bear with me, and each of them are gonna receive a letter of commendation, but I'm gonna go ahead and read the one, including all the information. So this is dated December 7th, 2021, to Officer Zachary Schwartz, Officer Carter Himmelman, and Officer Wyatt Flickinger. This is regarding the Bettendorf incident, February 7th, 2021. Dear Officer Zach Schwartz, Officer Carter Himmelman, and Officer Wyatt Flickinger, this letter is to recognize your actions that took place on February 7th, 2021, involving a female that had been taken against her will and threatened at gunpoint. At 0151 hours, you and the other third shift officers responded to the area in the 1300 block of Kimberly Ridge Road, reference a suspicious vehicle. It was later discovered that the female in question was the passenger in the vehicle with the male suspect in the driver's seat. You and the other officers recognized and understood the gravity of the situation, not escalating the situation, working to get the female who was apprehensive to exit the vehicle, making sure she was safe. You, all three of you, worked diligently as a team, distracting the male while at the same time, with your calm demeanor and persistence, finally convincing the female to exit the vehicle, getting her to safety. I believe that because of your combined efforts that early frigid morning, and it was cold, and you guys remember that, you ultimately saved the life of that female before the armed male suspect could act. Again, I just want to thank all of you for your actions that night. I can't thank you enough. I don't think the public will ever thank you enough and understand what we're out there doing on a daily basis. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks, guys.
We'll buy a new camera.
First time something couldn't keep up with me.
Oh, sorry.
Jeff, check those. Make sure you didn't get reflection off those thingies.
We'll get
Check
some of
those
these
so you
pictures
can
sent
get
out
a
so everybody
reflection
can
off
get them
those
to the
awards.
officers, too. Great job. Officer Eric Poyer.
All the way in the back
Yeah,
of
all
the
the way in
room.
the back.
Good thing he doesn't have a Michigan jacket on.
Yeah.
I don't think he heard you. I don't think so either.
Officer Eric Poyer. Bettendorf Police Department Honorable Service Award, presented to Officer Eric Poyer for a credible act in the line of duty which demonstrated initiative and accomplishment. On May 24th, 2021, at approximately 18:16 hours, Officer Eric Poyer responded to the area of 2500 block of Grant Street in reference to a male who was not breathing. Officer Poyer was the first to arrive on scene and initiated CPR. He continued to perform CPR after Bettendorf firefighters arrived on scene as they worked to get the Lucas device on the male. The male was subsequently transported to the hospital and later released from the University of Iowa hospitals in good condition. If not for the actions of Officer Poyer, the male would have not survived. Officer Poyer's performance in the line of duty is in keeping with the finest traditions of the police profession and reflects great credit upon himself, his shift in the Bettendorf Police Department. Presented on the 7th day of December, 2021. Along with this award, he will also receive a uniform citation bar, which is actually taped to the back of there. So leave it right there.
Awesome, thank you.
Congrats, man. Sergeant Andrew Champion and Casey Hoffman. There he is.
Hey, he's got a suit.
Wow.
Look at that.
So nice.
He got a suit.
When's that due back?
All right. So the reason I called them both up there, this is Sergeant Andrew Champion in charge of our traffic bureau, and Casey Hoffman, who is also with the city Public Works. He's our city electrician. So tonight, I'll be giving an award to Sergeant Andrew Champion and a letter of commendation to Casey also. So, Bettendorf Police Department Exemplary Service Award, presented to Sergeant Andrew Champion for demonstrating initiative, dedication, and accomplishment for the betterment of the police department. Sergeant Andrew Champion has been instrumental in the research, testing, and acquisition and implementation of various software and technology utilized by the Bettendorf Police Department. Beginning in 2018, Sergeant Champion began to research different body camera systems that would provide better video quality and integration with squad car video systems. As a result of his work, a system was implemented in 2019 that provides exceptional and reliable video quality, ensuring accurate documentation of police calls for service. In 2019, Sergeant Champion began researching license plate recognition software. Working with Public Works and Information Technology, Sergeant Champion spearheaded the implementation of the software in conjunction with new high-definition cameras throughout the city. Sergeant Champion's dedication to advancing the technological capabilities of the Bettendorf Police Department has given officers crucial tools to proactively apprehend criminals in our city and solve crimes more quickly and effectively. Sergeant Andrew Champion's performance and effort is in keeping with the finest traditions of the police profession and reflects great credit upon himself and the Bettendorf Police Department, presented on the 7th day of December, 2021. I'd like to present a letter of commendation to Casey Hoffman. Dear Casey, on behalf of myself, the Bettendorf Police Department, and the City of Bettendorf, I want to personally thank you for all your hard work and assistance over the last years regarding your initiative in recognizing the need for the upgrading to newer high-definition camera technology at traffic intersections throughout the city. Your efforts were instrumental in leveraging the technology that provided us the opportunity to look further at compatible LPR software that was eventually implemented. Not only this, but you have made it a top priority and dedicated yourself to the physical installation of these cameras, making sure that the system is working properly in order that it can give officers the information they need to investigate traffic accidents and crimes in a timely and efficient manner. Due to your collaborative efforts working with the Bettendorf Police Department, Traffic Bureau, and the City of Bettendorf Information Technology Department, this has had a substantial impact on how our officers do their jobs on a daily basis and the effective manner in which they do it. This has resulted in higher solvability rates of crime, providing evidence needed for prosecution, and holding criminals accountable for their actions, thus making it a safer community to live. It is with great distinction and gratitude that I want to personally thank you for your dedication and work ethic you display on a daily basis for the City of Bettendorf and the Bettendorf Police Department. Your contributions have a meaningful impact to the Bettendorf Police Department operations and being able to carry out our mission of protecting citizens and providing safety to this community. Sincerely.
Open up your award.
He's a good one. He's a good egg.
Good job.
Detective Jeff Buckles, if you can step on up.
This family just moved into our neighborhood.
Detective Jeff Buckles, Bettendorf Police Department Leadership Award, presented to Detective Jeffrey Buckles for any act, deed, or succession of deeds exemplifying leadership beyond expectations or extraordinary initiative over an extended period of time. Detective Jeffrey Buckles was assigned to the Detective Bureau in January 2006. Since then, he has proven to be an invaluable asset to the Bettendorf Police Department and the surrounding Quad Cities. Detective Buckles has exhibited an unmatched and unrelenting ambition investigating serious crimes, resulting in innumerable criminal apprehensions, arrests, prosecutions, and convictions. His personal dedication to the pursuit of justice has helped to make the Quad Cities safer while bringing closure to the victims of numerous types of cases, including stolen vehicles, burglaries, child sex abuse, bank robberies, and homicide. Detective Buckles continues to exemplify excellence in police work through his diligence and commitment to law enforcement. Detective Buckles' performance is in keeping with the finest traditions of the police profession, reflects great credit upon himself and the Bettendorf Police Department, presented on the 7th day of December, 2021. He also has a uniform citation bar attached to the back for his uniform.
Thank you.
I just like to say, it shows how old I'm getting. Detective Jeff Buckles was a dare student of mine when he was in sixth grade. I'm very proud. Actually, I've got another dare student back here, Detective Ashley Duffy's back here too, so. But I was really young, I just started on this. Again, I just wanna thank everyone, family members, as we all know, our family is our rock, our base, that gets us through this, and just the family, this community, this city, this police department is a community, and we look out for each other. I just wanna thank everybody for coming tonight. I also wanna do a shout out to our honors committee for, getting us organized, and especially Officer Christina Thomas, who did a lot of work in getting these awards done, so I very much appreciate that. So, again, thank you.
Great job, Chief. We appreciate all the hardworking men and women in all departments, but certainly tonight, we celebrate those in our police department. Great job, ladies and gentlemen. We have another award to present this evening. Some 11 or so years ago, when I took office, we talked a lot about how we involve other people, especially students, in what we do here at City Hall. You see before you some Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, and we have those folks join us quite often. But we also want to celebrate the great things that young people do in our community and hold them up on a pedestal for all of us to look at and try to aspire to be like. It takes an awful lot of dedication and teamwork. It takes unbelievable amounts of time and hard work to be successful in today's world. And we have great examples of great success with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the state championship Pleasant Valley volleyball team is with us. They are 5A. Come on up here, champs. 5A 2021 state champions. Our head coach is Amber Hall. Amber's in her 6th year coaching the Spartans, and they're having great success on the hardwood. So, ladies, come on up here. You come right up here in the middle. You're the champions, man. So we have a little piece of crystal here to commemorate, something for the trophy case, presented to the Pleasant Valley Spartans 2021 state champions 5A volleyball. Congratulations to you and all the girls on the team. We really appreciate you bringing them down, Coach. Awesome job. Give them another round of applause, please.
More than just.
Well,
They must be really quick.
well, we like to have everybody come down. It's really difficult to get people, especially on a Tuesday night, because they're all out for something else. They're probably playing basketball tonight. So there's a whole lot of that going on. Scoot that way for me a little bit so that I can get in the picture here. Congratulations. Thank you. Excellent. And you can put that here. Speech. Would you like to say anything?
I mean, so these are two of my 6 seniors. We had 18 girls on the whole roster, 2 sophomores, 6 seniors, and then the rest juniors. Just an outstanding, wonderful group. This group of seniors, we've gotten 3rd place the past 2 seasons, and then finally this year we were able to make it to the championship, and then to actually win the championship. It just shows how all their hard work and dedication really pays off. And again, it's a whole team effort, but these girls really gave it their all this season and really were there for each other, and they were playing for something bigger than just themselves. And as you already mentioned, you know, that's a life skill and something that all of us can really be appreciative, because it takes so much to make everything. And following all the wonderful police officers that we heard tonight and everything that you guys do for our community, and it's a whole family team effort. So just to kind of have that great concept, instill in these young ladies, and hopefully they'll keep growing and learning how important it is to really be there for each other and grow and learn together. It's just so wonderful. So thank you again for all your services, all that you guys do. We really appreciate it, and just so proud of these wonderful young ladies. So just great job and
Before you
congratulations.
take off, we're gonna clap for that. So let's give these guys a little bit of an idea of the hard work. So you got this little season that's about 2.5, 3 months, and that's all you do. You just play volleyball, and you never practice anything outside of the season, do you?
Play club volleyball.
Yeah, you're practicing all year. Tell these guys how hard it is to be good at something, because they're gonna work for it.
Yeah, it's a lot of commitment to put into everything because, I mean, balancing school and volleyball, you have to manage your time well to be able to get your school done. I mean, for me, school comes first, so I'll take all my time and focus on my schoolwork. And, I mean, then I have to do volleyball, so I have to focus really hard and put the fun stuff aside when I need to do my schoolwork.
Tell me about off season. What are you doing in the off season?
I don't really have an off season.
That's exactly what I want to hear. What does that mean?
You could be city administrator.
I just have to, I mean, in the summer we still have volleyball, but even then in the summer volleyball comes first, so I still have to put aside the fun stuff and go to bed early on time so I can get up in the morning to work hard and work hard to accomplish all the things we need to do.
Do you play other sports? How about you? Do you play other sports? Just volleyball? Same kind of thing, right? Off season, there's no off season. If you have a goal to accomplish, it's hard work all the time to get you there, right? Fantastic. Good luck with the injury. Congratulations, champs. All right. Thank you all for indulging me in our student athlete recognition. It's something I look forward to. Thank you very much, Chief. Great job with the police awards. And we've come to public requests of council. If there's somebody here who wishes to be heard on an item that's not already on tonight's agenda for public hearing, which would be anything at all, since tonight we have no public hearings, you can approach the podium in the back. Please state your name and address. We'd like to hear from you. We'll close public requests of council because the folks that are here in the front are here for scouts. Let's move to an ordinance. We have 3 second readings tonight. This means that we've already talked about these in committee of the whole. We've already had 1 reading, and these have all passed unanimously. So let's move to Councilmember Brown for our second reading.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have the second reading of an ordinance amending the future land use map for property generally located north and west of 5790 Forest Grove Drive, from urban medium intensity to community commercial. I move approval of this ordinance at its second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on this item? All right, hearing none. Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Brown,
Aye.
Connors.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
Baden.
Aye.
Webster.
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
Our next second reading is for Councilmember Nauman to present, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have a second reading of an ordinance revoking the existing planned unit development, PUD plan, amending the Bettendorf, Iowa zone map by reverting the zoning district classification to A1 Agricultural Urban Reserve District for property generally located northeast of the intersection of Middle Road and Forest Grove Drive and south of Interstate 80. I move approval of the ordinance at the second reading.
Second.
Any discussion on this item? Okay, Michelle, please call the roll.
Brown.
Aye.
Connors.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
Baden.
Aye.
Webster.
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
Our third and final second reading for Councilmember Baden, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a second reading of an ordinance amending Bettendorf, Iowa zone map, excuse me, for property generally located northeast of the intersection of Middle Road and Forest Grove Drive and south of Interstate 80, A1 Agricultural Urban Reserve District to C3 General Business District. I move approval of the ordinance at the second reading.
Second.
Any discussion on this item? Okay, Michelle, please call the roll.
Brown.
Aye.
Connors.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
Baden.
Aye.
Webster.
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
All right, we've come to the consent agenda. I know there was a discussion about items H and I. If,
Your Honor,
yes, sir.
may I request that we get a presentation from Director Hunt on items H and I?
Correct.
Both for the benefit of the council and for the public?
Absolutely. Our Community Development Director, Mark Hunt, is with us, and we appreciate your time today. Mark, why don't you take them, they're different, so take H first and then go right into I.
Thanks, Your Honor. I'd be glad to do that for you. So items 8 and 9 of your council packet that were just reviewed here today correlate to the preliminary plat in front of us. This is an aerial showing the location of a preliminary plat for the Forest Grove or FG 80 project.
Mark, we don't have it on the screen.
There it goes.
Oh, it took some time.
And it's,
I pulled mine up.
Yeah, we're there.
Get there. Just start again here real quick. So northeast corner of Middle Road and Forest Grove Drive, this is related to project or items 8 and 9 on your agenda. Those items were both a PUD revocation and a rezoning. The PUD was a PUD from the late 1970s that included a trailer park and a golf course in this area that was never developed. Our ordinance says after 2 years of a PUD not being developed, it can be revoked by council, which you just took action to do in a second reading. And then you also took action to rezone this area to a C3. And let me get to the preliminary plat here for you. So now as a C3, or pending as a C3, would be the preliminary plat in front of you. 6 lots with a mixture of retail uses and commercial recreational use in the center. A large commercial recreation use is posited for the center of this lot. You do have 2 lots for drainage and retainage of stormwater. That's Lot A, kind of the odd-shaped lot here, and Lot B in the corner here. The project does include access off of Forest Grove Drive and off of Middle, and these will align with our new roundabouts coming in through this area. This did receive a positive staff recommendation with some very minor conditions attached. As shown on the screen in front of you, and it was approved unanimously by the Planning and Zoning Commission. I would ask, are there any questions?
Yes, Councilmember Connors.
Would the intersection of the Loop Road, both on Middle and on Forest Grove, will those be the only access points that are allowed to this property?
Let me get back there real quick for you. Actually, it's actually easier to see on the second page. So yeah, the public right-of-way that's contemplated is just off of Forest Grove and off of Middle. There's no other public right-of-way contemplated at this time. If there is future development to the east, then there could be tie-ins, but right now, just those 2. There is private drives throughout the project. You see one noted going north here.
And some of the possible uses on this property, would we expect this thing maybe get divided up further in the future, or is it going to stay the way it is that we're looking at today?
So the user, as I understand it, is going to keep a rather large chunk in the middle. So that biggest lot that you see that literally is nearly 80% of the site as one use, as far as I know. The other lots near the front are going to be perhaps retail, commercial type lots. So I don't know if there's other subdivision that's envisioned for this.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on H? Yes, Councilmember Webster, please.
The only question I had is you said it's contemplated for a roundabout. It looks like the upper entrance farther to the north looks like it's got a lot of right-of-way, but the one to the south doesn't look like there's much right-of-way there. Does that intersection move to the west?
Could it move to the west?
No, is it moving to the west? Because the top one looks like it's got a pretty good-sized roundabout. The bottom one doesn't have much right-of-way from the existing
Yeah.
street.
Yeah, I think that's something we'll want to flesh out in the final plat. I don't know if city engineers online or can speak to that.
I mean,
the roundabout at Forest Grove and Middle will be the same size as the roundabout at Jersey Ridge and Veterans Parkway in Davenport. So Forest Grove and Middle should be a rather large roundabout. And there's a roundabout at Competition Drive and this yet-to-be-named street that Mark can probably point to on the north side, not the other one.
That one we can see.
Yeah.
It's the bottom one. Is there a
And
roundabout there? Or
There
no?
is. There is a roundabout.
There will be, yeah.
Okay.
There will be a roundabout here at this eastern intersection where the hand is as well.
you just look how big that right-of-way
Yeah, we
is
just need to get
off of
some-
Middle Road currently.
The right-of-way on the north has been dedicated.
Yeah, the south part of this just looks like way smaller than the north part, so that's why I was
Yep.
wondering.
Yeah, Jeff, you have a comment?
Sure,
Thank you, sir. So our engineer is not on the line tonight, but what I can tell you is engineering is working with the developer's engineer at this time to go through the survey work necessary to acquire necessary right-of-way to expand that corridor right there to accommodate a roundabout. So the work is being done to
But they
accommodate
They would give us that right away as part of the development, correct?
They are.
any right-of-way that is contemplated for this would be granted to the city, yes.
Okay.
Any other
And-
questions?
And Your Honor, just the capital improvement budget that we talked about last night
Yep.
takes the improvements through to that eastern intersection with that new street. Mark, put that back, red mark again. Yep, so that the Forest Grove will be completed through the roundabout and to that intersection. That's why, as we talked about those costs, all the way through and to the north, once we do this construction, we won't have to come back for any additional construction, with the exception of Middle Road to the south.
And Forest Grove, if we.
Yeah, and the
When we
ultimate
program.
expansion of Forest Grove to the east.
You're going a little bit past that entrance, right? Not dead stopping it, right?
It's a little bit past, but it's not a lot
Hopefully
past.
enough to get a turn lane in there to be able to get a turn lane going north.
There's right-of-way for that purpose.
I would hope that if we're gonna do that, we would,
Pour it while you're there.
yeah, get it, I don't know how long a turn lane is, but at least get a turn lane off of Forest Grove to get into that for people coming from Leclerc and the east.
Well, there'll have to be a taper to bring it back into play, so we did the turn lane with the school. I'm certain we'll do the turn lane here.
Perhaps the developer can pay for the turn lane, which has been our practice in the past.
Other questions on consent H? Yes? No?
Just a general
Okay. Councilmember Adamson.
Thank you, Your Honor. To the north, where you see the current, is it even on that one? Where you see the current entrance ramp to I-80,
Other side of the street, yep.
up to the north there. Yeah. Do we own the right-of-way now to, if they're gonna do a diamond, do we own that right-of-way, or is that something that we have to acquire, or the state has to acquire at some point?
So we are still working to acquire part of that right-of-way on this corner, I believe.
Well, okay, how about south and
All of the other
All
right-of-ways
the
been
other
acquired.
right-of-ways acquired.
Have, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
You bet. Any questions on H? Other questions? All right, move to I for us, please.
This case is relative to 2211 and 2239 Falcon Avenue. This would be similar to a case that we just had at the pizza place over by Kimberly Road. So we have a gaming facility, youth gaming facility coming within this complex here, and also the enclosure of a kind of a walled off area here. Because the use changed and the intensity of the use changed, we did run it through a site plan, similar to the other case. And really, the majority of our concerns were parking, but because both lots here are owned by the same user and there are cross easements for parking, the use met the parking count by a +1, so they had an additional parking spot over what they needed. It was reviewed by the Planning Zoning Commission, was found to be, or was passed unanimously, and also had a positive staff recommendation. I'd answer any questions you may have.
Any questions on this one?
What is it gonna be again?
There's going to be an arcade, a kids
Arcade gaming
arcade there.
facility combined with the
attached to
existing restaurant.
The burger joint. Yes, Councilmember Sexer.
Thank you, Your Honor. So that's residential to the left there, which would be to the west and to the south. Do we anticipate any increased noise or infringement upon the residential?
This is all interior space build out, so there really shouldn't be any noise. They've already done a patio and things like that for the adult customers. That's staying the same size, so I wouldn't expect anything loud or any noise related to the development.
Thank you.
Other questions? Councilmember Connors, please.
I would guess the occupant load for the game room area is figured as an A occupancy.
I don't know what the occupancy load was figured as. I don't know if they did it as A or not. I think they did it the same as the restaurant. And they did take the larger calculation, if you will, by code to try and get to that higher number.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions on I? With that information, do you want to leave those on the consent agenda then, folks? Comfortable with that?
I make the motion.
All right, so your motion is to pass the consent agenda?
Yes, Your Honor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any particular item on consent we need to discuss at this time? No? Okay. Michelle, please, call the roll.
Brown.
Aye.
Connors.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
Baden.
Aye.
Webster.
Aye.
Adamson.
All right, we have unanimously approved of the entire consent agenda as well as all those second readings, and we move to adjourn at this time.
So moved.
Second.
We stand adjourned. Good work tonight, people.